The shipping world is in a strange paradox. Trucking rates are falling, but the cost of moving goods, it's soaring. If you're a shipper, this disconnect isn't just an anomaly. It's a direct hit to your bottom line, disguised as a fuel surcharge. Let's uncover the hidden costs of July 2026's freight squeeze and how to protect your next contract. Imagine a scenario where the cost of a service drops, but your total bill for that service somehow goes up. Sounds counterintuitive, right? Yet, this is precisely the reality confronting countless shippers in July 2026. The market data paints a stark picture. Spot van rates are down 1% week over week. Reefer rates, typically more volatile, have plunged by a significant 6%. Even flatbed, often a more resilient segment, only managed a modest 2% increase. These numbers, on their own, might suggest a softening market, perhaps even a reprieve for shippers. But then, there's the other side of the equation. Diesel prices just jumped by a staggering 5% in the same period. This isn't just a minor fluctuation. It's a fundamental disconnect. On one hand, the underlying cost of transportation, as reflected in spot market rates for the truck itself, is showing signs of decline. Carriers, facing less demand or increased competition, are willing to accept lower per-mile rates. On the other hand, a critical input cost for those same carriers, fuel, is aggressively climbing. This creates a deeply uncomfortable squeeze, particularly for shippers. You might think, great, lower spot rates mean lower costs for me. But if you're paying fuel surcharges, that assumption is likely costing you a fortune. The core of this problem lies in how fuel surcharges are typically structured. Most contracts use a fixed base fuel price. When diesel prices rise above this base, a surcharge is applied, often calculated as a percentage of the line haul rate or a fixed rate per mile. The intention is sound, to protect carriers from volatile fuel costs. However, in a market like July 2026, where line haul rates are declining while fuel costs are escalating, the traditional fuel surcharge mechanism can become a significant financial burden for shippers. Let's break down the real-world impact. Consider a shipper moving goods via dry van. Their line haul rate might have dropped by 1%. However, if their fuel surcharge is tied to a baseline diesel price that has now been significantly surpassed by a 5% jump, the fuel surcharge component of their total freight bill will increase. This increase can easily offset or even exceed the savings gained from the lower line haul rate. The net effect is that their total cost of shipping goes up, despite the market signaling lower trucking costs. Think about a hypothetical shipper, Global Goods Incorporated, shipping 500 dry van loads per week, each averaging 1,000 miles, with an average line haul rate of $2.50 per mile. Their total weekly line haul cost would be $1,250,000. With a 1% drop, they'd save $38,750 on line haul. Sounds good, right? Now, let's factor in fuel. If their fuel surcharge mechanism adds an extra $0.15 per mile due to the 5% diesel jump, that's an additional $75,000 in fuel surcharges per week. Suddenly, their savings have evaporated, and they're actually paying an additional $36,250 per week, or over $8 million annually, purely due to this disconnect. And this is just for dry van. Imagine the impact across diverse shipping needs, involving reefers or even flatbeds, where the dynamics might be different but the underlying problem persists. The solution isn't to eliminate fuel surcharges, as they are a necessary component for carriers to manage their operating costs. The solution lies in reevaluating and renegotiating the fuel surcharge formula itself. The current environment demands a more dynamic and equitable approach. Shippers need to push for fuel surcharge tables that are more responsive to current market conditions, not just historical baselines. Here are some key contractual fixes to consider. Firstly, adjust the baseline fuel price in your contracts more frequently. Instead of annual resets, consider quarterly or even monthly adjustments, especially in volatile markets. This ensures the surcharge reflects current realities more accurately. Secondly, scrutinize the fuel surcharge scale. Is it linear? Does it accurately reflect the carrier's actual fuel consumption and cost? Many scales can be overly punitive to shippers when fuel prices spike. A more granular tiered approach might be more appropriate. Thirdly, consider capping the fuel surcharge percentage or per mile rate. This provides a ceiling on your exposure, giving you more predictability in your freight costs. Another powerful strategy is to tie the fuel surcharge to an independent, publicly available index, but with a crucial modification. Instead of just using the Department of Energy's national average diesel price, consider a blended index that also accounts for regional variations or even integrates a component reflecting current spot market conditions. This creates a more holistic and fair representation of the total cost environment. Furthermore, ensure your contracts include a zero threshold or a de-escalator clause. This means if fuel prices drop below a certain point, the fuel surcharge also drops, or even becomes a credit to the shipper. This ensures fairness regardless of market direction. Beyond just the contract, shippers can implement other mitigation strategies. Explore opportunities for backhaul optimization with your carriers. If a carrier can secure a return load, their overall operating costs decrease, which can translate into better rates and more flexible fuel surcharge negotiations for you. Consider dedicated fleet options for high-volume lanes, which can offer more stable pricing and fuel management. Leverage technology to gain better visibility into your freight spend, allowing you to quickly identify discrepancies and negotiate more effectively. In conclusion, the July 2026 freight squeeze is a wake-up call for shippers. The seemingly contradictory trends of falling spot rates and surging diesel prices are creating a silent drain on your finances through outdated fuel surcharge mechanisms. Ignoring this disconnect isn't an option. It's an expensive oversight. By understanding the mechanics, quantifying the impact, and proactively renegotiating your contracts with more dynamic and equitable fuel surcharge formulas, you can take control of your freight costs, protect your bottom line, and navigate the complexities of today's volatile shipping landscape. Don't let a hidden surcharge cost you millions. Empower yourself with knowledge and smart negotiation.